Happy Saturday, baby. Welcome to the Paradigm Shift episode 115. Yes, consistency and commitment is a superpower. And get this, it's accessible for everybody. You dig? We have a very special guest coming on today, somebody that I'm very fond of. I couldn't be more excited to bring on the dynamic and epic Roland Frasier. In the meantime, we're waiting for my partner in crime, Big Dave, who's traveling overseas as usual. And let's get this party started. Everybody in the chat right now, drop a current win from the previous week. I see you, Big Dave. Helene Siegel in the house. What a treat. There he is.
Shabbat Shalom from Israel.
Shabbat Shalom. You're in Israel right now.
I'm in Israel right now.
I mean, doesn't get better
Next
than
week
that.
I'll be somewhere else. Next Saturday I'll be in London, I think. So yeah, we're all over the place. What's going on, brother?
Everything's going great. We have a very special guest on, Roland. I see you in here, brother. We're going to bring you on in less than 5. Dave, have you been to Israel before?
This is my fourth time here. Yes, I have.
Fourth
So
time.
we went up north today and to Haifa and up there to a variety of places. It was really nice and just the rain's following me though. It rained on me a little bit today, and now it's sunny. It's been amazing.
Yeah, but I bet it's refreshing. I mean, you're
I don't
so
know. It's
hot.
been raining in California. It's been raining everywhere I go. It used to be sunny everywhere I go. Now I got all the good chi, all the good karma from the rain. But super excited to be here. Super excited to be with you for number 115.
Unbelievable. When are you going to be here in
I,
New York?
I am going to be doing a VIP dinner on June 15th in New York City. I will be there from the 15th to the 20th. We'll be in Philly on the 21st. We'll be in Kentucky on the 14th, Indy on the 13th. So it goes Indy, Kentucky, New York 15th through the 20th, Philly on the 21st, Chicago on the 22nd. So we got a mass. I think I may throw the first pitch out at the White Sox game on the 22nd as well. And we're doing a little VIP deal with the White Sox as well. So email me. Please join me, Jen Gottlieb, Mike Tannenbaum, Victor Cruz. We got all the biggies. I don't know if Craig Siegel's coming, but I'm hoping he is. I've given him the date. So I know my team and his team have this amazing black hole that exists in the calendar. I don't even call it the calendar between you and I anymore, Craig Siegel. I call it the black hole of dates. For some reason, my team and your team can never get our dates right, but hopefully they got this one right, and I'll get to see you and so many other great people. So go ahead, email me, david@dmeltzer.com. Greg, you can email me too directly.
I can?
Yeah.
How about I just text you like I did this morning?
I appreciate that every day, and that's why my hair is all frazzled.
Let's get this party started, and then we're going to bring on Roland. Roland's also up early on the West Coast today. Quick question out the gate, Dave. You talk about this so well. It was a paradigm shift, no pun intended, for me, and I think a lot of people can hear this right now. The big difference between being busy and being productive.
Yeah, well, I hate the word busy, right? Busy people are inaccessible. Busy people are always telling you why they can't do anything. Look, when you take your non-negotiables and you take the activities you get paid for, unpaid for, sleep, planned and unplanned, there's plenty enough time every single day to do three things: to be productive, to add value with what you're doing and prioritize accordingly, to be accessible to others, and to access what you want to receive, and also, most importantly, to subscribe to the alignment of where you think you want to be or better, and give the meaning to your past by learning the light, the love, and the lessons through the lens of gratitude. It is a single kaleidoscope of productivity, accessibility, and gratitude that changes the word busy to accessible. And I want everybody to think in that mindset that I am no longer busy, I'm no longer inaccessible, but instead I'm accessible through productivity and gratitude in order to effectuate the most that I can out of every single day aligned with where I think I want to be.
That's it, because someone could be busy doing a lot of nothing all day.
Oh, dude, busy people are, majority of them are lying at home today, high, broke, sick on their mom's couch, complaining on how busy they are.
Right.
It's the most ridiculous thing. If you want something done, ask an active person to get it done. They'll get it done.
Yeah. How you get more handsome by the week? What gives? What's your secret?
Few people know this about me. I'm actually Benjamin Button. So what you're going to see over when we get to like the thousands episode of of Paradigm Shift, I'm going to be younger than Craig by that time, and so I'll have more hair, I'll have more muscles, I'll have less hair in my back. It's going to be an incredible transition back down to baby Dave, mini me, and watch out, Hasbullah. I'm coming for your audience when I'm completely articulate at the age of 5. People are going to freak out.
I'm going this way. Now I have some gray hairs in my goatee, and you're going this way. Unbelievable. Roland, we're going to bring you on right now, brother.
I love this guy, by the way. I've known him for years, and we just don't get it together enough. He's a hero, a legend.
Couldn't agree more. We actually just had him on the podcast this week. Awesome guy.
Yeah.
How long are you in here for?
I'm here till Tuesday. I got to go to Scotland and UK, then back home, and then to Indy, Kentucky, and New York, Philly, Chicago, back home, and then back off to Rome. So we got an Italy tour and go to Kim Perel's villa. She bought a new 16-room villa. So we're pretty much through July 15th, man. I'm on those planes with family though. So Julie's here with me. And my whole family is going on a lot of these trips. We're all going to be in New York, Craig, so you get to see everyone. As you know, 2 of my daughters live in New York, and they're neighbors of yours, a couple blocks apart. So I'm looking for you to take care of them. You don't have to pay the bills, but you got to be their big brother and guide them along the way. Is that your yacht cruising by in the background? That's a nice one.
Yeah, I have my butler parking it for me right now.
Very cool.
Roland, I'm trying to bring you on, brother, but for some reason it's not joining. I'm sending a request right now for you to hop on.
Ask me another question while we wait.
Okay, if you insist. Tell us about this 120 rule, Dave.
Yeah, so 120 rule. First, I was gonna, I'm gonna swap it. 120 rule is providing $100 worth of value and asking for 20 back. In other words, if you can't articulate a quantitative value to exceed what you're asking for, and that's not just in value as far as sales go. I'm talking about emotional value. I'm talking about coming in the room and bringing it. I'm talking about being on stage on a podcast. I'm talking about writing a book like the Reinvention Formula book, giving $100 worth of value from whatever activities you have and only asking for 20 back. But I came up with a new idea as I've been exploring how technology and the acceleration of change that is conducive to technology, where we should put our focus, our attention and attention. And, what I've realized is what's so important is the first month of everything and the last mile, because technology, and this will apply to what Roland does, technology has had the most impact on the first month of something exponentially. Just look at chat GPT, right? Like it changes the whole first month of everything. It's so impactful. And then of course the last mile is impacted as well. Anyway, Roland, I don't want to steal your thunder, brother. It's been way too long. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Nice to be here. Good to see you.
Great to see you.
Roland, it's great to see you again. That was awesome the other day. And I could say this, I'm now the 3rd most handsome cat on this live right now.
I like
compliments will get him ever.
That's a good plan.
Yeah. Let's dive right in, guys, because I know it's Saturday when you guys spend some family time. And for anyone that's not familiar with Roland, my suggestion is do a deep dive. He's got some awesome stuff going on. He does so many cool things, wears so many hats. One of the things it's no secret that you love is acquiring companies, Roland, and I think that's so exciting. And one of the things that I saw you say as to why it's so exciting as opposed to like buying a stock or even a little bit more exciting than real estate for you is because when you become a part of these companies, you actually have the ability to make a meaningful impact on that company. Is that right?
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like the ability. To me, I just feel like it's a guaranteed return. You know what you're going to get into. If you acquire a company, it's got a history of performing. And unlike the stock market or the real estate market, it is pretty much guaranteed to continue to perform at least the rate that it was if it's got a stable history over, say, 5 years. And so then you kind of know what you're getting into. Like, the return that you're going to get, particularly if you can acquire it at the right terms structure.
Is that a benchmark for you? The company has to be at least stable for 5 years for you to hop on board?
That's my ideal. I really, really, really like 7, but I'll go as low as 3 if it's, sometimes newer companies newer tech type companies, newer opportunities are younger, but I really don't like less or fewer than 3. I wanted to have at least 10 employees because I want there to be management, because I don't want a job. I don't want to go in and, as people are like, well, how do you have a bunch of companies? Well, you don't run any of them. Stay off the org chart. That's the key. Be sure that there's either somebody there that's going to continue on, or that you've got somebody to allow you to continue to work above the business, not in it or on it.
Dave, what are you smiling at, you sex goose?
Well, when you've been around long enough and you meet successful people like Roland, everybody has a formula based off of very similar types of strategies. And they vary by the skills, knowledge, and desire of each individual. And as I coach a lot of people who buy businesses and sell them, we were just talking about the acceleration of technology. And one of the really interesting things that I'm looking at, especially in a downturn market where you get things a little less expensive than they used to, especially looking at traditional businesses, like take a plumbing business, Craig, where you've had a family-owned business and they've been doing extremely well. The dad or the grandfather has been resistant to technology, but they've built a business off of solid relationships. They may not even have a website. They still may use, a phone call system, and yet now it's time to retire, and they're looking at shit. We better get out of this business soon because the economy's going down. Well, meanwhile, you could pick up 50 and 60-year-old businesses that have a book of business in a traditional, like plumbing's going nowhere, ladies and gentlemen. This is the last mile that I was talking about. And you could have literally a simple POS, maybe even a merchant service account and some sort of scheduling software. And you could pick up a business that is extremely profitable, extremely stable, and make a few small technology adjustments, get a funnel from somebody or whatever, and you literally could triple a business's value overnight and not operate it and not be a plumber, literally just allow somebody else that does that type of operation. So I would suggest everyone out there to look at these consistent ways that people utilize the same strategies in order to make more money, help more people, and have more fun. And I'm telling you, when you talk about it being impactful, it's not just saving people's jobs, it's creating new jobs. And as you'll see in the next 5 years or 10 years, people like Roland that are saving jobs and creating new jobs people should be knitting a cape. These guys are superheroes, and they deserve all the money they make from doing so. So 100% excited about your positioning and your strategy, aligned with it completely as well.
Yeah, I love what you said. It's amazing the lack of sophistication in so many markets with so many profitable businesses. I recently acquired an interest in RoofCon, which is a roofing convention, and you'll walk around RoofCon and there'll be 3,500 people there, and you just keep running into roofing company owners that have 20, 30, $40 million businesses. But the challenge for a lot of them is that there's no sophistication. There's no pricing strategy, for example. And so particularly like when you talk about acquiring a 10-year-old or 60-year-old business, chances are pretty good they haven't raised their prices in a long time. You can go in, raise your prices, and instantly 100% of that increase drops to the bottom line. They become crazy profitable really, really quickly. And, God forbid you take them out of the, paper-based customer tracking system, which is not, that we call that check deposits, right? That's the only way they know their database. Go back and find a bunch of old checks and see who are they making calls with, because they haven't put anybody in a CRM. They don't have any outbound marketing. There's like none of that. So the ability to be just a total rock star in improving businesses like that's crazy. And with so many people retiring now because of a lot of boomers aging out, there's in the United States alone, about 600,000 businesses a year that just close their doors. And so like time and time again, we'll go in and find a business that it's like, okay, we're interested in acquiring this as we do our outreach, and we'll get back from them, oh, we shut the doors on that last year. And I'm like, but how much were you making? Well, we were making $400,000 a year, but we didn't have anybody to sell it to. The kids wanted to be on Instagram, and we just closed the doors. It's like crazy.
I have to add one thing, because it's absolutely insane. Because even if you weren't going to operate the business, I want to expose people to another opportunity, and that's seasoned companies have seasoned credit, and the entity itself can be utilized, even if you want to go on Instagram. And instead of, if you can go ahead and be a little proactive and find these companies and just buy the entity for hundreds of dollars. I'm not even talking about, sometimes you can take it over just by paying the taxes,
Yeah.
right? And you take full membership of an LLC that's been around for 10, 20, 30 years even. The season credit on a $400,000 profitable company is so valuable, because those lines, just because you've taken ownership, the lines don't go away, and you can change the purpose of the company, but the entity holds the credit. And so as long as you facilitate that credit, you can buy for hundreds of dollars something that may have $1 million credit line. You literally could buy a house and rent it out, Airbnb, from a lasagna company. And I know Roland's laughing because we've done this before, and it's a matter of being more interested than interesting.
Yeah, it is another, like, for those that have credit cards, that accept credit cards. I know one of the companies we bought in the e-learning space, there was a $2 million credit card reserve that had built up over about 12 years that they had never asked to have released. So we went in, we acquired the company for $1 million, had the credit card reserves released, took about 6 months to do that, ended up basically getting all of that cash back that was just sitting there dormant, not doing anything, because nobody thought to ask. It's crazy.
This is a seven-figure conversation for free for everybody that's at it, and I'm so grateful to be here with you guys. And one thing that both of you do, correct me if I'm wrong, but one of the strategies to do this is you'll consult with the companies, and instead of a fee, you'll take the equity. Is that right?
Yeah, I do. I always basically come in half-day consult, and so I'm getting paid to vet deals. And that, to me, you can actually go in and give them great advice. And then a lot of the times they'll be like, I don't know how to do that. I don't have the time to do that. That's not my area of expertise. Could you help me do that? And then you end up acquiring interests in these companies for no money out of pocket. The other thing you can do that I know Dave is familiar with as well is, you can do roll-ups. So particularly like in home services, we're doing a roll-up now. In plumbing, we're doing a roll-up. In HVAC, we're doing a roll-up. In appliance repair. And that's where you basically get 10 or 12 of these companies together, and they're worth a whole lot more together than they are apart, because private equity companies and family offices will buy them to add to a portfolio that's a lot bigger. And so you end up basically coming in for a short period of time. You just aggregate the companies, raise the prices, make a couple of changes on the tech, and then flip it out to private equity. It's a really good play too.
Dave, this is awesome,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Oh, of course. I mean, these are, when I talk about, if you love what you do, it'll tell you all its secrets. And these little secrets are where the margins of millionaires, and now with the size, scope, and scale of the opportunities, options, and touches of favor, it could be the margins of billionaires that we're talking about. One other area, by the way, one of the most successful roll-ups I had was in scrap metal, and I still don't know anything about scrap metal. But coaching is the same area, or being on a board of advisor. And one other strategy that I utilize, instead of buying a company, I'll invest in the company and get on the cap table, but demand that I, in that investment, become an advisor or a coach to the company. And then because I'm on the cap table, I can help facilitate raising the money, because I have my money where the mouth is. And then I have control with the different situational knowledge. I call it dummy tax, the fancy. Just if anyone says, I have this great situational knowledge, or, expertise, or advisor, basically what they're saying is, I have huge dummy tax that I've paid. I've been an idiot for 30 years, but the difference between me and other idiots is I've learned from being an idiot, and I'd like to teach you what I've learned from being an idiot. So just another inside nugget for everyone. But that is another great way. You don't have to buy the whole company, right, Roland? We can just put money in, but because of our history and credibility, other people will put their money in because we put our money in it. And it's the first question people ask me when I'm involved as an advisor: Dave, did you invest? And I like to invest.
Yep.
Instead of, if I know it's a huge winner, yes, I'm selfish and I go in by myself. But if I know I can bring on other advisors with me, and once again, it's almost like a roll-up of advisory, advice, counsel, and teaching and mentoring. So sometimes I'm better off not buying the whole thing, but just putting money in and bringing experts like Roland in with me. And then we all benefit as well from that expertise as it's aggregated get together.
Yeah, it's a great way to get additional investors for future deals, build your network. Absolutely, 100%.
Roland, is it true that you don't actually need cash to assemble a portfolio of
No,
companies?
no, not yes, it's true. You don't need cash at all to do that. It's and a lot of people. There's an important distinction though I think to make is a lot of people think, well, no money down. I'm going to go and there's going to be no money that goes to the seller. Now there are businesses like Dave and I mentioned that are available to acquire and it doesn't take anything. You take them over, but usually like a very profitable business, if you're talking about a $500,000 or more in profit, you're going to have to get the seller something at closing. But there's so many ways to do that. He mentioned one with a line of credit where you could basically have the agreement that the seller is going to take out a line of credit or you're going to close the deal and exercise the line of credit that already exists. And that's going to pay some amount to the seller. Most sellers will seller finance some portion of the deal. So we're looking at, let's say they're financing typically 20% on the low side, 100% on the high side, but I'd say average, I find it runs about 40 to 60%. And then you use tools like existing credit lines, credit card reserves, factoring of accounts receivable, going to other advisors and bringing people in. There's a lot of things you can do. There's companies that will loan based on a steady income that the companies have. They're called revenue-based financing companies. There's assets in the companies that can be borrowed against. They might do purchase order financing. You might get better supplier terms and pick up something. You might do an inventory consignment. You might sell off excess inventory. There's all kinds of ways to get, the company financed from itself and then actually get some money to sellers. So that's why I call it no money out of pocket instead of no money down. Really, that's an important distinction. But when you start thinking like that, you're not really doing anything different than the guys that are in the buildings behind your window there are doing, right? They're usually using the assets of the company or investors to pay so that they don't have to come out of pocket. And that's what we talk about here.
Yeah, and it's also a vehicle to use to limit liability. So one of the mechanisms that I like to utilize, especially if they own their own building or like high-end equipment or something like that, what I'll do is an asset purchase of the company, including the entity name and structure, but I'll take on no liability because a lot of SBA loans, as well as commercial lenders, will allow you to put 20% down or less, determined upon the financial position of the company. And you could even get the owner to finance the down payment. And then what you're doing is buying assets. You're not buying the entity, so you're completely clear of any of the 10, 20, 30 years of liability that you may or may not have communicated. And it mitigates a lot of risk, but it also allows you to leverage traditional financing by utilizing an asset purchase as well. And it just, I just have to thank Roland. A lot of people come on with us, and we have so many different shows, Craig and I, and they're just scarce with their advice. And I'm like you, Roland. You've always, since I met you so many years ago, just been an abundant person that has always just said, here's the secrets, man. Like I love what I do. You told me all the secrets. Here's all the secrets. And I agree with you, Craig. Very few people, they're always holding back. And you're one of the few guys like me. I just want to pour into people. And if they need any help doing it, I'm more than happy. And I know you are as well, which is why you're in a position that you're in. And we just appreciate abundant, open minds and open hearts like yours. So thank you.
Yeah, and same thing for both of you guys. I'm here because you guys are both like that too. There's no reason to have a scarcity mentality. There's plenty for everybody.
Exactly.
Yeah, this conversation was awesome, guys. There's no place in the world I'd rather be. Thank you so much for joining us on a Saturday. Roland, what's the best way for all of our audience and community to support you?
I'm happy to help in any way. I'm obviously here on Instagram, so that's probably grab a follow link and I share all this kind of stuff just like you guys do. And also, really appreciate the opportunity to be on your podcast the other day, and looking forward to having you on mine. And Dave, we got to get you on our Business Lunch podcast too. So
I would love that. Vice versa. I got tons of shows, so we'll hook up outside. There's certain people you think about all the time, and their name pops up, and you're right down the road from me. So let's definitely get together. And thanks. It's great to finally be face to face. This is great.
Love it.
Thank you guys for so much for the value that you add. Love you both. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. Take care.
Dave.
Love you.
The Paradigm Shift episode 115 in the books. My goodness, that was special. That was what you call a masterclass in acquiring companies and consulting and all things in between, guys. We just want to add value. And I love what Roland and Dave said there. There's more than enough for everybody to succeed, to win, to thrive. That's all we want to do here. The Reinvention Formula, as you can see, is available for pre-order now. We have a plethora of pre-orders going on. We also have access to our launch team. So many of you signed up to support. I'm so grateful for that. You can get into our launch team just by going to the link and grabbing a copy right now, and then going back to the landing page, type in your name and confirmation number. You get access to our premier virtual summit with huge guest speakers. This is the biggest one we've ever done. It's only going to happen one time. And we just really want to spread the message that you are absolutely here for more than you might be currently settling for. And you can pivot successfully, and it doesn't take time. It just takes alignment. But how? The Reinvention Formula from Wiley and yours truly, available now. Grab it, grip to, give it to a friend, give it to a loved one. Most importantly, thank you, Roland. Thank you, Big Dave. Love you both. So much wisdom, so much knowledge, and such an abundant mindset to just hop on here, add value, and share with everybody. Life is very good, guys. I think my screen is not right. This is probably backwards, but it does say, why not you? Literally, why not you? You could have it all. I love you guys so much. Looking forward to connecting further. And with the book launch team and all that, we're going to read some of the book before it comes out. But do me one favor, have a great weekend. Be super present and mindful in every single activity that you participate in, whether it's with your kid, you're on a run, you're doing work, you're with your family, whatever it is. Be mindful, be present, be in the moment, stack those magical moments, because mindfulness is the portal to expansion. You dig? Love you guys. Have a great weekend. Check out everything Roland has going on as well. Obviously, Big Dave. Love you. We'll see you next week for the Paradigm Shift episode 116.